side, and I think everyone else can see your screen as well.
Awesome. Okay, good. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining today for the session. And I'm Kasun Pathirana, and today I'm going to talk about how Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations applications with Power App platform enables organizations to realize their full potential. So let's get started. So, a bit about myself. I'm Kasun Pathirana and a Dynamics 365 and Power Platform evangelist. I work at DHC Technology as a consultant, and I started my journey in Microsoft Business Applications from Dynamics AX from 4.0, and I have experience working with Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation products for the 9 years. And I've also got exposure in working with Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement or the CRM. So I've got experience in both the ERP and CRM. But my main experience lies in the FNO area. And I also did some Power Platform implementations as well. And I do blogging, and I used d365bits.com. So that's my website. So some of the contents which I share today would be available for if you're looking for step-by-step guide, then definitely you can see it in my site, and also the YouTube channel as well. So I have some demos in the YouTube channel as well. Some of them are shared, some of them are new. So, and if you want to contact me, you can, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can definitely reach to me in LinkedIn. So the QR code will link you to the LinkedIn page. So if you have any further questions or anything like that, I'll be more than happy to help you out or discuss with you. And bit more on the other side of me. So I actually like playing cricket. So if you're a fan of cricket, yeah, you can also reach to me. And I've also recently started running as well. And also I like hiking. So that's a bit about me before starting on the session. So let's move into the session. Let's look at the session agenda. So we will look at the what is Power Platform as the start of the first part of the agenda, and then why organizations need to leverage on Power Platform. And then I'll be talking about Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations with regard to Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power Virtual Agents. I'll be running through a few of the demos as well. So you'll see a lot of demos as well as the high level, the overview of what these individual components are. And also I'll discuss about some of the upcoming features which I'm interested about. So a couple of them I'll be discussing as well under the agenda. And then there will be some resources which I've used. So I'll be sharing it as well. And the final part will be the Q&A session. So if you have any questions and answers, we can definitely take it up on in the last part of the agenda. Let's look at business application. I think yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Can I please remind everyone to mute your microphones? Just a final reminder for everyone, if you are joining, please mute your microphone. You are disturbing the session. Okay, Kasun, sorry, please feel free to unmute your microphone and carry on. I apologize for the disruption there. Arabind, just mute your microphone, please. Excellent. Okay there. So Kasun, please feel free to unmute your microphone and continue, please. Thank you very much.
Yep. Hello.
Thank you so much, Kasun. Yes.
Yep.
So it seems though there was a bit of disruption there. But look, yes, please feel free to proceed. Thank you once again.
Yeah, sure. So what is Microsoft Power Platform? Power Platform is basically Power BI, Power Apps, and the Power Virtual Agent, and Power Automate. So these are the four components if you look at the image. And there's some other components as well, data connectors, AI Builder, Common Data Service as well. And also about the Power Platform is it's a single low-code development platform for Microsoft Office 365 and Dynamics 365, Azure, and your standalone business applications. And regarding the Power BI actually provides you a low-code way to understand and analyze your data and help businesses to take actionable insights. And regarding the Power Apps, it's actually a no-code or low-code platform, such as developing your mobile applications as such. And it provides a platform to create low-code web and mobile applications. Even though you say it's a low-code, you can actually use the pro developers as well. If they have some developments done in Azure services, then they can directly call it in the Power App. So that's why, even though if it's a low code, it actually can be used by the pro code developers as well. And you can natively call it back to the Power App. So that's the advantage. And there are three types of Power Apps. So basically Canvas, model driven, and portal. And Canvas is where you actually would start with a blank screen and build your application. And model driven is where you will start with data, which lives in common data services, and it's much easier to connect to the CDS model as well. And portal is where you would expose your common data, and you'll have different scenarios of exposing it to the customers as well, so which we'll be discussing later on. And Power Automate. Power Automate is making it easy for us to automate our tasks. So it has pre-built connectors, like over 300 pre-built connectors, and it also has the capability of RPA, like robotic process automation. So it's very that. And it's getting better as well with the acquisition of Softmotive as well. And the Power Automate has like I said, Power Automate has the pre-built connectors, and it can be actually utilized inside the when you connect to the FNO as well. So that connector is there. So there's that's the advantage as well. And Power Virtual Agent is actually a low-code way to create chatbots, and you wouldn't need a data scientist to help you to build applications. And also Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent is actually able to connect with the Power Automate and create the actions part of it. So it's not only the Q&A type of answering in the bot, but it actually can take actions. So the actions part where you utilize the Power Automate. And you can also utilize you can also get the advantage of the bot framework as well. So if you have any skills that you have developed, so you can actually call it in the Power Virtual Agent. So those are the things that you can do with the Power Virtual Agent. And then you have data connectors like AI data connectors and AI Builder. So these are pre-built connectors, pre-built AI models in the AI to automate the processes, and also it will predict the outcomes as well. Yeah, so that's a bit about the Power Platform. And let's see why organizations need to leverage on the Power Platform. So why Power BI? So if you ask why Power BI, because Power BI is a business analytics services, and which provides you to visualize your data. Also that you can use your data to get actionable insight as well. So the businesses can really take advantage of that because you get actionable insights. And the beauty of it is as well that in the future that you'll have the capability of getting into the data lake, and you can have mashup scenarios like ERP and CRM data combined together, and running AI and ML algorithms as well on top of that. So it brings real actionable insights and predictions as well. So it's really rich in that sense. And also, if you have noticed that there's a lot of announcement as well about the Azure Synapse Analytics as well. So there's a lot of things happening in this space. So you can really take advantage of using the Power BI, and Power BI is really the number one leading BI analytics tool available. So that's having so much rich capabilities, as well as it's day by day it's actually getting enhanced, so businesses can really leverage on it. And if you look at the Power Apps, it's a no-code, low-code platform, and the why you need to utilize as an organization, that's the key question. So why you need is because there has been researches done that there will be 500 million new apps need to be created within next 5 years, and surprisingly, this is more than the old applications that we built in the last 40 years. So demand for the mobile apps are really going faster with like 5x rate, and the IT departments are not able to deliver the applications with the rate which is demanding. So that's the issue that the organization is facing. So that's why where the Power Apps came into the picture, and it really helps the organizations to quickly develop the applications with the low code development such. And Gartner also predicting that 65% of the application. Hello. I think someone I'm muted. Sorry. So the Gartner is predicting that 65% of the application development in low code category by 2024. So this is the reason why businesses must invest on these technologies and empower their users to learn and learn these skills. And it also have strong enterprise governance and security as well. Also, if you're a pro dev, you can extend the capabilities as well. And with regard to the Power Automate has has pre-built connectors that makes a low-code, no-code developer to easily use the existing pre-built connectors. I think someone ended the presentation. Someone took my session. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it again.
Yes.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we're talking about the Power Automate. So the Power Automate, this actually will save a lot of the time because the connectors are pre-built. So that's why that you can reuse all these connectors as such. And also the Power Automate is able to update, edit, or delete records in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And if you are using Power Automate to take actions, you'll be using the power of the Power Automate. And let's talk about the Power Virtual Agent part. The Power Virtual Agent is also really helpful because it's a low-code, no-code developing tool, and then you have you can build chatbots as well, and you wouldn't need to have a virtual you wouldn't need to have someone sitting there and answer 24/7. So you can actually utilize the virtual agent in your business, and you can make them virtual agent to speak 24/7 and enable it to answer your customer queries. So that's what you can do based using the Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent. And data connectors, as such, you have AI built, and that's what the same what you can see on the left side. So that's what we discussed earlier. So let's move into the next part. Microsoft ecosystem supporting the modern finance and supply chain management. So if you look at carefully on the green part is actually what the Power Automate Power Platform is actually utilizing. So integration, visualization, automation, and data is where the Power Platform is actually used. If you see in the automation part, you see the Power Automate, business events, and Power Virtual Agent. And in the data part, you have the CDS, and then AI. You can use the AI build as well. And in the visualization part, you have the Power BI. So the Power BI is a really good visualization tool. You have a custom visualizations comes out of the box from Power BI as well, and then you can add the other visualizations going into the market as well. Or you could, if you're not satisfied, you can actually define new visualizations, as well as you can also leverage on the R visualizations as well as the Python as well. So there's a lot of capabilities inside the visualization. Talk about the Power BI. And if you have the mashup kind of a scenario as well, so it will really nice that you can present ERP and CRM data and present it using Power BI, and in between you probably can use the Azure Synapse as well. So that's really adding value in that sense. And in the integration part, you have the Power Platform can be utilized for the integration. So that's where you have the Microsoft ecosystem supporting the modern finance and supply chain management. And if you look at the customer journey, let's look at the customer journey from reports to intelligence, because next we're going to talk about the Power BI. So if you notice that in the early days we only have the static reports, now it's actually getting into the interactive dashboards, predictions, and recommendations. So there has been a journey for the Dynamics AX, all the users. So it's actually adding the value. The value is increasing day by day with the new developments which are rolling out by Microsoft. So that's the key. And you can definitely take the actions part. So that's why if you see on the right side that you can take the actions used from your recommendations. So that's what is key, because these data is actually giving you the recommendations so that businesses are really benefited, because they have the recommendations on their fingertips from the intelligence part of it, and then they can actually leverage on these actions as well. And let's look at the Power BI part of it. So Power BI is actually helping to enable the effective actionable insights. So it gives you the actionable insights. So Power BI is embedded directly into the user experience, and it's enabling your organizations to deliver insights to the right people based on their roles through analytical workspaces. And Power BI can leverage the core transactional data, and it's surfaced through an Azure data lake that provides scalability, but at the same time, you mean that can deliver the insight that span multiple applications beyond finance and supply chain management. And it's all within one dashboard, so that's the key. And it also has the entity store, which is an operational data store that is included in the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And aggregate measurements are a star schema, that is a model for analytical scenarios. And as a user, you are able to pin tiles to a workspace as on the right side. That you can actually pin tiles as well, and on the right side you can see a dashboard on in the slides. And there are new enhancements, as I was telling, that Azure Data Lake, like full push and So these are real good new enhancements coming on the way. And I'll be talking about a couple of them in the other slides on the new features. So that will be touched upon later on. And also you can, as I tell, that you can actually get the Azure data, get the data into the Azure data lake, and then you can actually use kind of Azure Databricks, and you can actually leverage on all these Azure functions as well, Azure functions as well. So that's really helpful in the if you want to build like AI or ML models and such. Let's move into the next part of it. So automate your business scenarios. So if you want to automate, you can actually utilize the Power Automate. So that's the beauty of the Power Automate, that you can actually automate your business processes and tasks as well. So using the Power Automate, and it actually helps also to read, write, and edit or delete the records as well. And also, if the Power Automate can be utilized in the business event scenario, so the business events actually can be utilized the Power Automate as well. So that's actually I'll be showing one demo as well on how the business events utilizing the Power Automate later on. And the business events wise, you have two types, like it can be a workflow, or it can be not workflow related, process related. So it's a non-workflow action or a workflow action. So that could be the two types of scenarios, and you can utilize the Power Automate there. And on the screen, if you see, that's actually the Power Automate utilized from the Power Apps itself. So this is a scenario where you're creating the sales agreement using a Power App. So if you have a Power App, and then you can get that inputs to the inputs. These inputs actually used to create a record. So that's what's been showing in the slides here. Let's move into the next part of it. Next part of it is the extending your solutions with the Power Apps. So if you talk about the Power Apps, why you might ask why do you need the Power Apps? So it actually helps you to, in the scenarios that it could be a scenario where that your mobile, you have workers where they are really mobile, and they might need to enter or update records in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So in the event, and another scenario would be in the event that if you need to combine your data with another external source. Example, like if you need to get a web service to check and verify your VAT numbers or something like that, you could actually utilize the Power Apps, and those are kind of examples that why you would need the Power Apps, just to it's actually to extend your business scenarios. That will be really helpful. The Power Apps that you can utilize to extend your business scenarios. So that's where you are using it. And there's, as I told earlier, that there's a few types that you have. You can use the Canvas apps or the model-driven apps when building the applications, or you have the portals as well, customer portals. That's which is released recently. It's still not available yet. I think it's in the preview. So I'll talk about in the next the new features on the customer portal. So, and also you can create both task-oriented or complex business processes. If you are talking about the task-oriented, you probably can leverage on the Canvas apps. And if you're talking about the complex business processes with the approvals as such, you could leverage on the model-driven apps. So those are the scenarios that you can use the Power Apps to improve and extend the business, the solutions that you're providing to the client. And there's another feature I'll be discussing about, which the which in the Microsoft Business Application Summit, which was mentioned that the D365 finance and operations entities will be available from the CDS. So you'll be able to tap on to the entities inside the CDS. So that will open up many power up scenarios. So that will be actually helping all the to make it much more easier in the scenario wise, how you would deal with certain scenarios. It will make much easier when the entities are available in the CDS, so that you can tap on to the Power Platform easily, all the capabilities when the data is available in the CDS. So I'll talk about in the new features on that. So the next one is extend your solutions with Power Virtual Agents. So we talked about earlier as well, Power Virtual Agents. So the Power Virtual Agents, you can build your chatbots with no code. And also you can leverage on if you have anything built previously in the bot framework, you could definitely leverage on those skills as well. You can call them to the chatbot and utilize them. So that's the beauty. It's low code, but if you are pro, you could definitely leverage on all these things. And not only that, if you are looking for something like Lewis, like language understanding kind of a bot, like language understanding intelligence service, that's what Lewis is. And you could definitely leverage on the Lewis, and then you could improve the customer experiences which you are providing to the client by using Lewis in your Power Virtual Agents. So those are the scenarios that you can utilize them. And yeah, I think I talk about that. Yeah, so those are the ones which we can do. And in the right side, you can see the example that I've given. It's actually giving you the ability to get the inquiries. So the sales order is invoice. So kind of an inquiry like sales order status. You can check on the sales order status. So that's one of the scenarios, and I'll show checking the confirmed delivery dates in the demo later on. So how you can build a PVA to do that. You could have definitely different scenarios. So this is just an example on how you could utilize the Power Virtual Agents with the data of in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And let's get into the demo part of it. So first we'll look at Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations with the Power BI. So in this video, you can see how you can access workspaces like customer credit and customer manage customer credit and collection. So this is one of the dashboards, so that comes out of the box embedded into the FNO. So that's you can actually get all the available. You can actually utilize, and you can actually edit the out of the box reports from the UI itself. So you could click on edit, and then you can start on editing the from the UI itself. But you will be restricted to the entities or the data inside. And this is another dashboard, which is a CFO overview. It's embedded into the FNO as well. So this is a standard out of the box which comes. So that's how you are using the. This is an example for the out of the box way of utilizing the Power BI. And let's look at something if you want to extend. And this is an example. This is an example only, but this example is on the looking of the uncounted bins and analyzing the uncounted bins. So in this scenario, we'll go to the locations, and I'll show you filtering to the warehouse 24. And then the zone as well, zone ID to the flow. Yeah, so that you can see the right side that the class count, cycle count is mentioned. So it's only two of them. The last cycle count has been done. The others haven't been done, but this is not taking into the date. But if you want, you can take into the date range as well. But I haven't included that. But yeah, certainly you can extend that. So if you look at the report that 12 number of bins are there, uncounted number of bins are 10 in the flow. So that's one of the ways that you can extend, and you can, if you want to embed it, you can embed it, and then the users will be easily can see the data, or they can access the Power BI as well directly. So it depends on the how they want to utilize it, how they want to use it. And the next is FNO and Power Apps. So let's look at the FNO and Power App scenario. So this is an example of image, a label image generating Power App. So I'm in the batches screen. So if you see the batches screen, and the right side, you can actually embed all the Power Apps. So that's where you can embed the Power Apps. In the right side, you have the icon. So you can actually give a name and give it the app ID. So, and then you can actually embed it. So let's start it. You could also have, in this case, I'm actually loading all the records into the batches, but if you want to get the record that you selected, you can actually utilize the functions from the Power App itself, and then only filter for that record from the parameters. And you selected one record and you click on the label, then it will actually giving you the label. So that's the label image, which is actually utilizing behind is the use of the library.com APIs, and then it will actually display that. And yeah, this is one kind of example I have. And let's look at another example. So this is also with Power Apps. This is actually a new feature which came. If you are aware of the create new field, this feature is actually was enabled, I think, in the platform update 13, and now in the 10.09 that you have the capability of adding it to the data entity. So in this scenario, I'm showing a legacy code. I have added a legacy code inside the PO. So the create new field is the same as what you see in the earlier version. That's nothing different in this. It's the same, but the difference is actually you can actually add it into the data entity. So that's what the new feature which does. So that makes if you are a functional consultant, that you can actually add a column here, and then you could actually add into the data entity. So you wouldn't need the help of a developer. So if you have, if you want to add a field and add it to the data entity, and then utilizing Power Apps, you could do that. So that's what the scenario I'm showing here. So if you go to the custom fields, under the custom fields, you could drop down that table which I've added in, purchase table. And then if you click select, then it will load all the entities, and then you can see that field. And then if you click on, if you see the enable part of it, so that's where you can enable. So in this, the entity purchase order headers version 2, so it's been enabled. And if you click on apply changes, that's been actually enabled inside, and then you can utilize it in the Power Apps, and it will be externally available for you. And also you can utilize it in the data uploading scenario as well. So this is the Power App. So if I go to the search legacy PO, so this is just searching for the legacy PO. So this application, you can actually search for the legacy PO. So I had 286 and 87. So if you search for the 86, it'll give the details of the 86. But if you search for the 87, it will give you the details which is actually relevant for the 87 PO. So that's about this scenario. So if you are a functional consultant like me, you'll be happy because you could, if it's a small kind of field, like not a complex kind of field, just a text field and stuff like that, you could actually directly go and edit into the entity, and you can then expose it, and then you can utilize it in the Power App. So that's a good new feature which came in the 10.09. And let's go to the Dynamics 365 Financial Operations and Power Virtual Agent demo. So this demo, I will showcase a scenario where the user is able to get the confirmed ship date using the Power Virtual Agent. And let's look at the demo. So I'm just gonna play on that. So if you see that it's asking for the virtual agent, and yeah, in this case I'm gonna look for the sales order status. So that's the scenario. So if you that's in this case I have the sales order status scenario. So then it'll look onto the sales order in the system. So if you see it's actually invoiced, and I have another scenario which I have put it in my YouTube and the web. You could look onto that. That's actually having the confirmed ship date scenario. So that's another one. And the other thing that you can see is that there's the topics part on the left side, and then you can actually have different topics. And if you want to if the user want to continually search in these scenarios, like probably you want to do the inquiries again, so you could actually direct into a topic, and then you can rotate it again to the same topic again. So that's actually a really nice way of doing, so that it makes easier. So in this case as well, so asking the sales take ID in this case, and please enter your sales order take ID, and then it will ask for the do you want to do another inquiry, yes or no. So if I say no, and then the Power Virtual Agent say, did that answer your question? Yes. Yep. And then great, thanks for the rate, and then excellent, and then you can utilize it. And if you notice that all the actions I took here, which is actually leveraging on the Power Automate. So the Power Automate is where all the actions part which is taken. And so once it's been done, it'll say, yeah, it'll give you a message, and you can come back to it and you can do a search. You can actually embed, you can put it into different channels like Teams. So there's a few channels available that you can actually utilize this, and you can put it in a web as well. So I also will ask you to go back to my site, and the YouTube channel. Definitely you have the other scenario, the confirmed ship date, so you could look through that one as well. And in terms of entities, there are pre-built entities. If you see on the left side, so there are a few pre-built entities on the PVES, and then you can build on top of it. And yeah, so that's what you can do. And the technique that I use, as I was telling, that if you want to do another search by linking into go to another topic option, so you can actually go into another topic and then it will rotate back. So that's what you can do if you're looking for something like that. And let's see the Power Automate a scenario or an example or a demo on the Power Automate. So in this scenario, I'll take you through the sales agreement header creation. and I will show you how you can use a manual trigger. Then you might ask why you need to use manual trigger. Usually I use, if I want to build the complex flows, I'll use a manual trigger just to see what fields and what values I need to have in order to complete the flow, so that it makes, if I create a power up, it's much easier. I know what fields or values that I need from the manual flow. So this is an example. So if you, it can be utilized, it's not a must, but it can be utilized if you're doing a complex flows. So this is sales agreement creation. So you have a manual trigger flow. So I can manually trigger the flow. I'll perform the trigger flow, and then you can select the currency, and you can select the agreement classification. You can select the customer, and then you can say run flow, so that you manually did that. So if you can actually change this manual flow, manual part is to the power apps, but in this case I was using just to demonstrate how you can utilize the manual trigger flow scenario, so that it can help in if you build a complex kind of a flow, if you want to check through what fields and values and stuff like that. This helps as well, but it's not a must, but it just it's good for it's a trick kind of you if you want to build a complex flows to check. And the next one is actually about the business events, and it will provide the capability of the business events is actually providing capability of alerting or notifying external systems while you're performing business processes. And there are two types, as I was telling earlier as well. You can perform workflow actions, example like purchase order approval, kind of a workflow action, or it could be a non-workflow action, like example like a sales order invoice. So it's a non-workflow action. So this scenario as well, I'm taking a sales order invoice, so it's a non-workflow scenario. And you might ask where you can find these business events. Probably if you have used business events, you already aware of it, where it is. It's in the system administration setup business events, and you can find the business events catalog there. And I think I'll have it in the video as well. So let's see the demo on that part. So this is a sales order which has been delivered, and if you go back to the business event, so what we're gonna do is when you do the invoice to send an email, trigger it. So I'm gonna show the business event catalog that which I've used. It's a sales order. So sales order invoice posted business event. And if you see the endpoint, so it has to have an endpoint. So the endpoint in this case using the Microsoft Power Automate, but there are a few other endpoints as well. So you can check on the other Azure related endpoints as well. But in this instance, I'm using the Power Automate. And I'm going to do the invoice in the sales order. When I do the invoice, so the operations will happen. And then it will go to the Power Automate, and it will run through the flow, and it will trigger an email back to the designed email, designated email. So let's see. Yeah, so that's kind of an email that it will generate. You can actually define the email format how you want. So in this case, it's invoiced, and it will give you the invoice number and the amount, and it says where it's generated. And this is the flow example. So I use the event business event dockers, then it will pass the JSON and take the values that you can then use these values and have a condition. You can put conditions, and then you can, after the condition, it will have a two branch yes and no. So in the yes, say get the record, and you get the record that you want, the invoice record of the sales order. So if you want some sales order details, you can definitely get it from the get record, and then you can leverage on that and send an email notification. And this notification is the one which we see earlier. Yeah, so that's done, and then we move to the upcoming features. So the two upcoming features that I'm excited about, bringing the dynamic Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation entities to the CDS. And if you look at the embass that have been this news has been announced in the embass. And the next one is the customer portal for Dynamics 365 supply chain management. So let's look at the the first one. So actually, if you look at the embassy of Ryan Jones was actually talking about this dual right, dual um, uh, you have dual write, dual integrate, and FNO connector as well. But now with the help of the CDS bringing into the entities, you can actually you need to have an external field, the external view of it. So that's getting it for entities natively into the CDS. So the CDS will have the FNO entities, so that when you have those entities available in the CDS, so you could definitely have uh, 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 real good scenarios. So you can use on that. You can definitely leverage on the uh, Power Apps and all the Power Platform related capabilities when you have the entities. So yeah, that's the one which is actually that's a new upcoming feature which is going to come. That's super excited on this one. I think we have a lot of capability around on this new feature. And the next one is actually the customer portal. The customer portal is actually it's in a preview, I think, now, so you can actually leverage on the customer portal. So it looks like this. I and I think it will be in the GA hopefully in the next month, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's in the preview, so you can use the customer portal. So in this the portal scenario, yeah, you can utilize this customer portal is actually having the Power App portal template. So that template you can actually utilize and create the Power Apps from the template. It will be available, and there's in the Power Apps template gallery. And if you want to enable this feature, you would need to utilize, you need to install the dual write solutions first. So that's what you need to do. And it allows companies to create a external facing website by utilizing the Power Apps portal. So you can actually create an externally facing website that is connected to the Dynamics 365 supply chain management, which is smoothly now you can make it with the new feature which is going to come. And this will empower your customers to place their own orders, or maybe if you're looking at like increasing the visibility, or maybe communicating important messages, sending it instantly or something like that, or you can quickly implement and customize it. So that's the two upcoming features which I wanted to share with you all. And the next one is these are the resources. So the Microsoft Business Application Summit. And if you want to search more on the Power Platform fundamentals part of it, I would encourage you to go through the Power Plat fundamentals on the docs, the learn. And the other one, I think the site is, if you want, docs.microsoft.com for the FNO related learning as well. You could find it over there. And I have a couple of I think three blogs on the part which I was showing. So exposing the custom fields. If you want to see the step by step how we want to do it, you could definitely go in there. And then Power Virtual Agents as well. So I put in the step by step guide there for the Power Virtual Agents, and how to create a manual trigger flow. That's also their step by step guide. So if you want to do that, you could definitely go and find it in my the blog. And also this QR code will be directly linking to my YouTube channel and the web, and all these videos which I shared, most of them will be there. Some of them which might not be there, but most of them will be there, and then you can have a look and you can get more information if you would like to have. And yeah, that's more of it. And yeah, so that's, if you miss out how to reach me, so you could definitely catch me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions or such, you could definitely catch me. And for the Q&A part, I think we can go to the Q&A. I think we have 5 minutes, I guess.
Thank you once again, Kasun. Carol, I'm going to switch off your microphone for you now. Hello there,
Thanks,
Carol.
Russ. Thanks.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm just going to switch off Carol's microphone. There you go. Still a noise is coming from somewhere. I'm trying to identify where it is. It's gone now. Great stuff. So, Carol, just a reminder. Yeah, please, everyone, please respect the rules and mute your microphone before attending. But again, thank you, Kasun, for that.
Thanks, Russ.
For that, for that session. There are questions. There are definitely questions coming through.
Yeah.
So one of the questions is Omar Awan asks, how do we invoke PV8 from D365? Do we have to log in to some resource? Omar, so just remember, Power Virtual Agents, obviously Kasun will answer further, but yes, in short, but I'll let Kasun obviously answer that. But Omar Awan is asking, how do we invoke Power Virtual Agents from D365? Omar, can you also, obviously we're also assuming it's FinOps, not customer engagement, but yes,
Yeah.
Kasun, that's the first question.
Yeah, definitely. Like you would need to log into the Power Virtual Agent, and you would need to open up the Power Virtual Agent's website, and then from there you can start building your application, and then you could use leverage on the connectors. The connectors would be the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations connectors. So that will be definitely you could link it back to the FNO, and then from linking back to the FNO with the PVA, then you can actually take actions. So you could have the Q&A kind of thing going on, and if you want to take the actions, you could definitely leverage on the connector from the FNO connector over there, and then you can utilize that.
And there's another question again with PVA. There's a lot of interest for PVA, it looks like.
Yep.
They're asking about what are the use cases for PVA? So they're asking you, they're saying the main purposes of serving and guiding visitors to the website, but they want to hear your use cases related to PVA in supply chain.
Yeah, in PVA supply chain, yeah, it could be different kind of scenarios. Like if you want to give the virtual agents for the customers to do inquiries, like if you want to have it in your website kind of thing, you could definitely, if you want to get it as well, like you can run few scenarios over there, like if you want to give them the information, like kind of inquiries such like for their orders, what in status, or maybe like I was showing, talking about the confirmed delivery date. So that's kind of scenarios. Like you could definitely have different scenarios, but definitely in the services sector as well. So you would definitely have a few scenarios over there, but it's not only I wouldn't say it's only restricted to the external only, but I think could utilize in the internal as well. But it will be more suitable for the external kind of scenario that you definitely leverage in the supply chain, mostly in the sales part I can think of. But there will be a lot of use cases coming in, like if you can utilize the Luis as well, it gets more smarter, your bot, so that you definitely uh, making your bot smarter, then you could have lots of scenarios running through that as well. Yeah, that's
And
what I
again, another question related to PVA. So there's lots and lots of questions all related to PVA.
Yep.
So again, another question is, can you embed it in FinOps? And obviously your session has been, yes, you can embed it using the connectors. But if you want to just elaborate further on that, Kasun, as a final answer, it seems all the questions are related to PVA, but as a final reminder to people, are you happy to give them a final answer to how to go about using PVA with FinOps?
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely use the PVA with the FinOps. That's so you definitely need to leverage on the on the connector. So if you would like to see how you want to do, I have a step-by-step guide on how you connect a PVA to the FNO with the connector. So you could definitely follow my steps in my website. And if you have further questions, if you because there were few people actually followed it and they had some questions, I answered them and they managed to successfully do that PVA linking part within FNO. So I would be happy to help if anybody have questions further on after trying it out, and definitely you can go and look at my step-by-step guide in the website.
Okay,